Good morning, campers. Happy Monday. It means it's Masculine Monday, so we're going to do a reading for my masculines. I did not light up my incense. This cannot be. So bear with me. We're going to do a reading for my masculines. I don't want to say like I feel nothing. You guys know that usually when I open a channel, I already feel something. I'm feeling energized, so I'm tapping into collective that you would be like this this person, you know, uneasy, maybe a little bit uneasy. I did grab this oracle, which is quite deep. It ain't for beginners. It ain't for beginners. Okay, so let's see what's going on with this collective. And then we'll see what we do today. What's going on with this collective with my beautiful masculines. My beautiful masculines. Reminiscing. Reunion. I'm feeling trigger as well. So let's see. Let's do 2 more for your first row. Whoop. Soul contract. I feel like we have, to be honest, you guys, I feel like we have a season. I just heard a song, must be the season of the witch. So maybe you're connected to a witchy poo, your divine feminine, maybe she's a witchy poo. Anywho, don't know why it came to my mind. We do have a season of reunions, to be honest. I've been noticing it. It's sort of this season started October, November, December, because we are in very important, if you guys watch me on stories, I usually talk about energies, astrology a little bit more on my stories. So we have been, you know, in this period of review, test. Do you need another rodeo? Are you ready for your next, next level? What's going on? So this means that there can be a lot of reunions. Masculines may feel like you guys want to reach out. Doesn't necessarily mean that all of the collectives will have the strength, the readiness to break no contact and to walk towards union. We're gonna see how this one ended. I feel like you haven't done it yet, to be honest. We have reminiscing. Miss our inside joke. So maybe you recently been thinking a lot about your feminine moments you spent together. Good moments, good memories, which is good. If you're going towards the good memories. We have reunion. Again, we'll confirm, but I feel like that's something you are thinking about. Space. This is where I was hearing trigger. Maybe you have been taking your space to figure certain things out. Maybe you find yourself like you operate a little bit better recently and you feel yourself a little bit better in isolation, not surrounded by people. But I was also hearing that maybe you are someone who needs a lot of space, who needs a lot of personal space, right? I have 2 things to tell you when we talk about space. One is that we really have to, yes, it's true, we're all different, right? We're all different. So if you truly are someone that you think that you like your space, you're very, like some men say, like, I'm a lone wolf, I'm independent. And then when they're healed, you literally cannot get rid of them, okay? Just a side note. If you're one of those people that you feel that you like your time alone, you like a lot of space, I want to tell you a few things so you really face what does it really mean, okay? First thing, if you think that you are that person, first thing that you have to address, understand, contemplate on, is it coming from a place of light or is it coming from a place of shadow, okay? Because there's a huge difference between I like my space, I like my freedom, I'm a lone wolf, because underneath I'm afraid of commitment, I'm afraid to be vulnerable, I'm afraid to offer myself and my heart fully to another person. So we really have to make sure that that need for space is not coming from shadow. And you would be surprised how many people, they don't know it. They think that most people think that this is just who I am, and they're bathing themselves in shadows, right? Traumas. So really ask yourself. Now, if you know it's coming from a place of light, you're just one of those people that sometimes you like to spend an afternoon in freaking silence, okay? Sometimes you like to go on a walk and or be in a car, even if you are with someone, but not talk. Or you like your space, you like to, you know, feel that you have that sense of space and that sense of personal freedom. You have to understand that those kind of people, if it's coming from a place of light, so face it first, we'll tap into that in a moment. When we talk about true soul connections, you have soul contract as well. When we talk about true soul connections, your true soul connection, your divine counterpart, whether that's your twin soul, or here from our masculines, we're talking about twin souls, we're talking about twin flames, but it would work similar with a higher soulmate. This person's going to vibrate on the same frequency. Your feminine is going to be same. Oftentimes, this is something that you guys confuse, because in the beginning, we cannot make it work. We meet, right? And we trigger each other. There's constant argument. There's this in and out. We cannot just seem to make it work because we're both ruled by our shadows. Once you both stand in your authentic self, in your truth, in the frequency of your soul, right? You will always vibrate on a similar frequency. You will understand each other. So if you really, this is why I told you that you have to figure this out, because if it's coming from a place of light, that you just are this person, maybe you're afraid because you remember your feminine from the past, when she was anxious, when she was clingy, wounding. If she truly stands in her light, the moment she will stand in her light, she will too love her personal space, love moments of silence. You're one consciousness, but you have to figure it out, because if it's coming from a place of shadow, fear of commitment, right, then we have to address this. We have neglected, failed to give you what you needed. There's a reason I was, deviating towards that sense of space. I think this collective, that being your first row, you would be now in contemplation about your connection, about your feminine, thinking about moments you spent together, thinking about good moments you spent together, wanting that reunion. You would know at this point that you have a soul contract, soul tie, a soul connection. You would be thinking about moments that you didn't give it a shot, that you neglected her, that maybe she was trying harder than you were trying, right? But you would as well be thinking, would it really work? A lot of time has passed. There are certain things that are important to me. Would we really be aligned? But again, what do I always say to you guys? We're one frequency. We're one consciousness. We are twin flames. True twin flames are always aligned on a level of value. I've done a channeled message, I think it was this summer. It's probably still going to be somewhere in my channeled messages playlist on YouTube, about union, and sometimes how feminine sometimes feel and fear masculines too, like we haven't seen each other for so long. Are we on the same page? And there's this thinking about, maybe this person wants a family and I don't want a family. Maybe this person wants to live this lifestyle and I want it. Maybe they don't like personal space. Maybe they always, like chatty, and how is it going to work out? Twins are always aligned on a core level, on a level of values. Yes, we are a little different, but we're basically, when people start interact with us, it's seen to the outside observer that we're an extension of each other. Like literally, we have same gestures, same movements, same jokes. We're saying we're one soul. Yes, we're sovereign beings, free individual sovereign beings on this planet, right? But we're one consciousness. It is literally impossible that your feminine, for example, doesn't want to have family and children, and at the same time you dream about big family, right? It's impossible that your feminine is a chatterbox and she constantly talks all day, and you love space and silence. We're always aligned. The differences that we feel in the beginning come from a place of shadow, okay? All right, let's do you another row. Daydreaming. So you would be daydreaming, thinking a lot. Hold on, what's going on here? Thinking a lot about moments you shared, you spent together. Cyberbully, that's a weird energy on top of that reunion. Maybe you maybe you return to two things are coming to my mind. Let's do another one for this one, because two things are coming to my mind. One is that maybe you return because you're preparing for the reunion. So you return to the energetic field of your feminine. You're watching her stories, you're liking her photos, maybe you know, reacting or liking certain content of her. Maybe you find yourself a little bit, there is a little bit of that obsession at nighttime. I'm hearing, like, maybe you're watching, maybe she has some content, some videos, some photos, and you like going literally through these hundreds of times at nighttime. But I was also hearing that maybe in the past, because we were talking about that personal space, right? Hold on, I'm having a lot of thoughts. I'm trying to organize myself here. It's like to download. Maybe you know that in the past, in the beginning, she would spy on you a little bit, and that kind of scares you in context of that space. But things were also coming to my mind in the sense that when we're truly in a side of light, and when we truly healed, when we truly find our soul connection, we are extension of each other. We really want to spend a lot of time together, right? So let's see let's clarify the cyber bullies. Hold on. Ego. My pride gets in the way of our connection. Maybe you're watching her online, maybe you're watching her content, maybe you're focusing to the... Remember, you guys have to remember this. No matter how... I'm going to give you an example. Like, for example, someone like myself. I am very authentic. I am very... Obviously, I'm standing in my side of light. I'm in my divine feminine, right? But so I'm very authentic. Whatever I post online is coming from a place of authenticity, you know, just the joy of sharing certain things with you guys. If you follow me, for example, on Instagram. Sorry, someone was calling me and I got a little distracted. What we were saying, you guys, sorry, I got a little distracted. I feel like we were saying something important, something important, but it will come to me. It will come to me. I know that we were talking about that personal sense of space. I feel like I should, hold on, maybe it will come to me. Hold on, let me do 3 more to close the spread. Into you, see? Into you. That's on top of that space. Maybe you're even, you would be reflecting on it. Maybe you always been this person, like this lone wolf, this loner, even in relationships. But you guys, you would be surprised how many times it doesn't come from the fact that you're just a lone wolf. I always said, I also have somewhere in my YouTube channel, you can look for that. I have a video about a lone wolf, true a lone wolf energy. A lone wolf doesn't fear commitment. This is why I sometimes laugh. I'm sorry that I laugh at you, but sometimes you're just funny, right? These men that say, oh my damn, I'm my darkness, no one would understand my darkness. I'm this lone wolf, like I'm just like, I need my space, like I could never be like a mate of someone, like I need my freedom, right? It's fear of commitment. It's fear of commitment. It's fear of vulnerability. It's fear of opening your heart. Once you heal, once you fall in love, once you find your true counterpart, this is what you do. This is what you do. You don't want to let go. Men are so gooey. The way you love, it's uncanny. In true divine union, I always talk about this, you guys. In true divine union, divine feminine, divine masculine. If you've read about this, the triangle on my website, right? You would know, true men, divine men, your devotion is fully towards your feminine, and you receive from the heart. Through your hearts you receive. We, part of us, it's always connected to spirit, to God, the spirit realm. The way you love, the way you need that love, the way how caring you are, how gooey you are, how sweet you are. It's uncanny. People think that women, no. In true divinity, feminine energy is more independent. We're all independent in our divinity, you know what I mean? But it's the feminine that it's the chaos. It's the feminine that is always like running around with her commitment in between the man and the mission, right? It's the masculine that is structure, stability, commitment, devotion. When we talk about divine energy, you'll be thinking about this. This reason it's all here and it's all coming to my mind. Soul contract. Absence. I feel like a part of me is missing without you. Oh my god, you guys, I'm gonna cry. See, I pick up your energy. Gooey, gooey, gooey. Okay, I love that about my masculines. Shadow side. You made me realize my flaws, neglected. You would be missing her. You would be realizing that it's a part of you that is missing. That it was, you would know that it was your shadows. Maybe you're still on the fence with this freedom, with this space. This is why it was coming to my mind. But you would know that it was your shadow side that made you reject your feminine, that made you reject this connection. Thank you. This is what they're saying. Thank you. It's the ego mind that brings you these thoughts. It's your ego mind that still makes you question, are we gonna, if you truly believe that this is a soul contract, that this is a soul connection, you feel the absence as if part of you were missing, because we're extension of each other. One consciousness. Until we are in union, there's a part of us that's always missing, right? It's the ego mind that still makes you question. That still makes you question. I'm going to do a few more just to confirm, maybe like 2 or 3 more, and then we're going to do disagreements. Yes. You would be thinking about this. I feel like this collective, you're confused. Mend, in case you didn't know, you want to mend this relationship. Okay, we knew this already. We have disagreements and we have habits. I don't know will I ever change. I feel this collective, you are still confused. Okay, and fear not, my brother. I will explain this to you so you understand, because many people is confused that way. Many people think and say, when they describe themselves, right? This is just me. This is who I am. This is my personality. And in reality, 90% of that is shadow, okay? It doesn't mean it's all of it, because we all have that individuality. We all have individual frequency, right? We all have different frequency, unique frequency, with exception of twin flames that have same frequency, right? This is why we're so good together. When we're in union, it's like we're literally one, right? But 90%, most people, right, when they would describe themselves, I have a little temper, I'm an introvert, I like spending time on my own, I get easily triggered, however you would describe yourself, the good things and the bad things, however you see them, everything is neutral. Whatever you will say, this is my personality. In reality, it's shadow. It's shadow. People who tend to say that I have temper. It's I'm temperamental, right? I'm passionate. It's aggression. It's a wound of unhealed grief that results in an aggression, right? People who say, I'm this lone wolf, I like my space, I like freedom. Fear of commitment, fear of vulnerability, right? Because in our side of light, yes, we're all different and unique, but we all are love. We all crave love. We all find kindness in ourselves. We all find compassion. In our side of light, we mature. We don't go into disagreements. We don't go into this nonsense statements. And this is who I am, you accept it, or you're right. We want to grow together with our soul family around us. We want to expand. We want to do better. We want to get better. We release the ego. So 90% of words that people would use to describe themselves is a side of ego. Okay? So whatever that is that you are still doubting, maybe it is about that freedom, that space, that you have very strong sense of personal space, that you love spending time on your own, that you're someone that, for example, you think to yourself, even if I was in a relationship with my feminine, I would want to go on a travel from time to time on my own, or I would want to spend, I don't know why, just sports and football came to my mind. Like I would want to go and play like football games like twice a week with my buddies, or I would want to go like camping sometimes with my friends. And I remember that was maybe that was a reason for disagreements. That she wanted more time, more quality time. Maybe her love language is quality time. But do you understand what does it mean, quality time? Quality time doesn't mean that you spend all your time with someone. It freaking means that you give them quality time. Then there's a part of your day or your week that you fully give your attention to that person. So maybe that was right, but remember, I mean, logic, use your logic. Back in the day, it's not like she wanted more and more and more because you were giving her quality time. You're probably giving her breadcrumbs. That's why she was asking for more, and she was still in her wounding. She was in her anxiety, so she was asking for more. True Divine Feminine asks for nothing. We just observe, okay? We just observe. This is our bar. When you're not meeting that without us asking, we're not interested. We ain't gonna ask you for nothing. But I feel there's something that you still haven't figured out within yourself. Is this a part of me, or is this something that she's going to accept? Am I going to be able to change? If you do something that is hurtful to other people, right, it's always a part of your shadow. And if it is a part of your shadow, we can always work on that. And I will say this one more time so it really sinks in. When we release our ego, and we stand in a side of light, which means we're all light and shadows, right? And it's not about carving out the shadows. We cannot exist just as light. This is human existence. It is duality. It is yin and yang. We'll always have our shadows. But the key is to love them, to make them loving, to put love into them, to control them, and to rule with our side of light. In your case, also with your masculinity, right? So once you stand in a side of light, your true soul connection, whether that's your divine feminine or your soulmates in forms of friends and, you know, some family members, right? When you're healed, you will be the best, vibrating on the same frequency, most amazing pack possible. And I promise you, brother, they will come, that you will not want to go on that camping without her, okay? But what I wanted to say is that if you have that sense of, I need my alone time for contemplation, for this and that, it means that she will be that person too. We're never, this is the thing with, and that's the difference, because soulmates are a similar frequency, but we're not sometimes 100% aligned. But with twin flames, we're one consciousness. We're one consciousness stuck in two different bodies. And those two different bodies from birth went through different experiences, different traumas. And we also have our past lives traumas, because we are sovereign souls. We've been through different experiences. But on a core level, on the level of that frequency of a soul, we're birds of a feather. Birds of a feather, that ships stuck together. You know this song? You're same. You're going to be so good together. You just have to trust me on this one. You just have to trust me. Okay, let's tap in. Because I've been rambling, but I feel like this collective, you would need that. There's still some doubts, but you want to run to her either way. I want to run to you. All right, how are you doing when we talk about your healing? Talking about your healing, talking about where you are, this collective. Whoop. Whoop. Okay, one more. It's been a theme in collectives of my masculines. Okay, so hold on. I have 2, so I'm going to do 2 more and we're going to have 8, okay? Bear with me. You're not what you have, which is beautiful. It means that collectively, the masculines, you're really growing from this shallow, ego-based belief that you are defined by your physical success. We have a lot of cards from the Matrix. Okay, hold on, let me organize myself. This was your first card. Okay. In my collectives of masculines, and I feel this is sort of a collective, we work collectively, we're all one, right? The more we grow as individuals, this is creating a ripple effect on other people, more than you could ever imagine. This is why the work of light workers is so important. But there's a theme that is sort of repeating itself in my collective. One is that you can leave the room card. You can leave the room, which is a card that talks about you can leave people behind if they're not good for you, if they're karmic relationships, if they're not true soul ties, if they make you feel bad about yourself, if you're not vibing with them. You don't need no explanation. You can leave the room. You can choose better for yourself, better company, better people. You can leave the room that you feel that is no longer adequate for your vibration, for the work that you've done on yourself. And the other one is you're not what you have, and that's the one that I mentioned. You are not defined. We live in a very shallow, patriarchal, distorted world that makes us believe that our value depends on what we have physically. We have to redefine success, and this is the job of our masculines, because you're the architects of the matrix. And I say this to you guys all the time. Your successful person, truly successful, is a person who is aligned, which means that your soul is fulfilling the mission that it came here to do, learning the lessons that came here to do, your soul. You're growing, you're expanding, you have abundance in a form that I have what I need to function. You wake up in the morning with no stress, with no pressure, with no expectations. You live in the present moment, a happy, fulfilled life. That is success. Success is not found in your cars, in your apartments, in whether you fly business class or not. It's nice to fly business class, but it doesn't mean that you're successful. It doesn't, okay? It doesn't. It's your soul. It's the energy that you bring into the room, that it's the imprint that you leave on someone in one conversation, is the ripple effect that you create. That's success. Okay, I feel like you're a jokester at this collective because I keep having like these weird thoughts. I'm trying to, like stop myself and not to. All right, we have your first card is question everything, which is very beautiful and which is very nice. It means that you are questioning many things in life now, and we have that energy, right? You're going back in your memory, you're thinking about your feminine, you're thinking about, is that a shadow, is that my personality, is that something that can be changed, is it real, is it true, is it fake, is it an illusion? Good. This is the masculines that we need, masculines that question everything, because we are being programmed from childhood to believe certain things that are not really true. They're part of the matrix, they're part of the program, they're part of the society conditioning, family conditioning. Question everything. Masculine, who's the true architect of our future physical world, questions everything. You don't just, this is what creates the divine masculine. You get out of the box. You don't just follow the rules. You're rule breakers, but because you're rule creators, you create better rules, right? Question everything. Second one, and I was laughing, do it scared. I think that you are still a little bit fearful, a little bit scared of your capacities to do certain things, your ability to make a change. You're just going to have to do it scared. And I always say this to you guys, courage is not found in people who don't have fear. It wouldn't be courage. If you're crazy and you're fearless, right? It means that you don't have courage. You just don't. Courage is fighting with fear. So in order to have courage, fear has to exist, right? And on this journey, we constantly have to do it scared. And this collective, I can feel your energy. Do you feel me? Do you see me? If you watch me, you know that every reading, I do embody the energy of the collective. I'm like super amped up. You have the energy, you have the power. Dynamite. True masculines that we need to change this world. It's just that there's a healing that is needed. We have to take a step back, and I think that's something that you're also doing. It's like you're questioning everything, you're taking a step back, you're really